Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Texas Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Trevor Neal. I'm here with my co-host, Travis Tyler. How are you doing this afternoon, Travis?
I'm doing great, Trevor, man. Ready to
Doing
get
great.
going here. Yeah.
The Stars are back home. We're excited. We play the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight, but we have a handful of things that we're going to break down in today's episode. The biggest of which was the bombshell feature that got dropped in the last week. Emily Kaplan sat down with Jake Oettinger and a few other NHL players to discuss the Game 5 pooling from last year's playoffs. And Travis, just for a little background, if you give to the people who are maybe a little bit newer and are jumping on the Stars, what exactly happened last year against the Oilers?
I believe Jake Oettinger was pulled after 2 shots. Both went into the
Yes.
net, but he was, they pulled the franchise goalie, the backbone, the guy they say is the backbone of the team over and over and over again in the most critical game of the season.
Yeah, and arguably one of the most critical games of his career. An opportunity to turn around a series, send it back to Edmonton in their third straight conference final. Former head coach, and we're going to dive into that here on today's episode, but former head coach Pete DeBoer gives the old yank to Oettinger in a crucial playoff game. And recently, Emily Kaplan from ESPN sat down and talked with Oettinger and some other NHL players about just kind of breaking down the psychology behind what happened. And what happened was a disgrace to coaching, is what some people would say it is. We saw Connor Hellebuck, who I thought was such a fascinating player to talk about in this moment.
He's a guy who would know about letting in some goals in the playoffs.
Yes, he would against the Dallas Stars.
It was sure, not just the Stars, but yeah.
Not just the Stars, but
that
yeah.
mentality. Yeah, the mentality of a goalie in the playoffs and not quite playing like you wanted to.
Yeah. But you go and you ask a guy like Connor Hellebuck, what do you feel about pulling a guy like Oettinger? And you hear him say, "That's your guy. I would have left him in the net." We talked to Mason Marchment in the feature as well, who was, to my knowledge, one of Ottinger's best friends in the National Hockey League.
Oh, yeah.
He's saying the exact same thing Hellebuck's saying. We talked to Matt Dumba in the feature, and he's saying the exact same thing. It was weird to me when I first watched it that we're so actively criticizing a coaching decision so close to when it actually happened. Like, Pete DeBoer is a guy who's looking for NHL jobs.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me the way that this is played out and the fact that it's still a story here in Dallas to an extent. The move very obviously is a leading factor into the firing of DeBoer. I don't think there's a way to dance around it. It played into the decision, whether Dallas says it doesn't or doesn't. Would you agree with that?
Yes. I mean, the Dallas fans picked their side a long time ago, probably even before DeBoer was hired as a coach in the first place, if we're being honest. And I, outside the arena, interviewing some fans before the home opener, I asked a couple fans about how they felt about that, and it was all, "Oh man, you can't do that. Yeah, that's just an awful move." And we side with Oettinger and the new coaching staff and all that. And so, and in the press conference after the game and the next day when they were closing out the season and everything, the mood, I mean, they didn't let you know what was going on like you did with the feature that Emily Kaplan did, but they did kind of just, you could tell it wasn't a great vibe and that something else was going on.
Yeah, and what was the exact quote that Oettinger had after the game, where he was asked about what it's like being pulled in that situation? I know you had a good one from him.
Well, it's not so much an exact quote or a full quote, but when he was answering questions the day after, and we were asking him what the conversations have been like and all that stuff. This might have been 2 days. I don't remember the timeline exactly.
For locker room cleanup.
Yeah, exactly. We were asking, if the conversations had been had with Pete and stuff like that, and there was a lot of stuff that was like, well, we don't feel like we need to have that conversation or whatever, but also like we know that we support each other and stuff like that. But then what a lot of reporters caught on to was when Jake was talking, he said something to the effect of no matter who the coach is next season, or no matter
Yeah.
who the coach is, he didn't add the next season in there. So that was something that kind of slipped under the radar at first, but then a couple reporters in there talking about it, and it's like, did he said that, didn't he? So
Yeah.
it made for a pretty good narrative a week before the move was actually made.
Yeah. And for how I mean, you talk to these guys almost every day, for how media trained they are. It's purposeful to throw in a little side-handed comment like that. That doesn't just slip out. He knew what he was saying by saying that, I think at
It
least.
it may have been calculated. I'm sure it probably was.
There was
Looking back on it, at the time, I honestly thought people were reading too much into it, but looking back on it, yeah, there was probably some calculated.
yeah.
I'm not gonna say
No,
risk, but it was a calculated move.
and Kaplan asked Oettinger, "What are the conversations you're having with your wife, with your family when you get home from a loss like that?" And the answer was things I'm not allowed to say on camera.
Yeah. Yeah,
This is
well,
my question to
it
you.
probably screamed some very bad words very loudly.
Oh, I would've.
Yeah,
And it would have been
yeah.
directed at one person.
Well, and before we get into that, I just wanna say, like, another element of this that is extremely, like, awkward and uncomfortable was the fact that he's sitting on the bench while the ESPN reporter is reporting r right next to him on the fact that he got pulled. Like,
Yeah.
within earshot. I know the stadium's I mean, it might not have been loud at that point considering how badly Dallas was getting beat, but they, I mean,
He
it's
can
not
hear
gonna
you.
yeah, either way, it's not gonna drown out the reporter's voice, like, they're close enough to where he can hear exactly what he's saying, and I think that probably added to it, and it made it even more important for, like, the teammates to, consult it or, help him out and make sure he's good, and, you even saw Casey DeSmith skating over there talking to him while
Yeah.
while he was on the bench, so that support was probably something that he really needed.
Do you think there was any possibility after those quotes and the way that that playoff series played out that Pete DeBoer was gonna regain the room and come back?
Honestly, when it was all being talked about or whatever, you couldn't really tell that he had how much of the room he had lost and how much he still had.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a difficult reading between the lines type of thing.
Mhm.
Um, but you could tell that some of maybe some of the bigger leaders in that room were not quite his biggest supporters anymore. And
Yeah.
that's probably where, where the change needed to be made and where the change came from.
Yeah. Because I mean, look, by pulling him out of that game and to put it nicely, giving up on him in such a
Yeah.
crucial moment and moving off of Smith, who's to say you're not giving up on the other guys? Because if we're gonna give up on anybody, Otter should be the last one.
Well, and to that point, Jake Oettinger is one of the most beloved guys in that locker room by that
Yes,
entire team.
everybody loves this guy.
Yeah.
What it was Harley showed up to opening night wearing the little Oettinger
Yes, he did,
shirt
and he was
on
wearing
under a suit.
I believe they said he was wearing Rupe Hintz's shoes too.
Yeah,
So,
he that the every single time there is Oettinger merchandise dropped, there are other Stars players wearing it
oh,
rather
yeah.
quickly. They
Yeah.
love this guy. They wanna fight I think by the time DeBoer left, they were more willing to play and fight and work hard for Oettinger than they were for DeBoer.
Yeah, I think and that's well put. I mean, exactly the point we're conveying here, that
Yeah,
he was essentially more important to the team as far as the locker room and the teammates and everything than the guy who was coaching them and took them to, 3 straight Western Conference Finals.
yeah, and I believe, please correct me if I was wrong, Pete DeBoer went to a conference final, and every season he was with the Dallas Stars.
Yes. Yes, he did.
And
he did the job he
just
was supposed to do. He just never won it.
yeah, I mean,
And
take off the reporter badge for a
yeah.
second. It's
And
crazy to fire a coach with that much success. And somehow
yeah,
he
I
found a
mean,
way for it to be the right decision.
yeah, I get that NHL wide. I've seen the Red Wings do it in my lifetime. So
Yeah.
it's not that big of a surprise to me. I've seen NBA teams do it. They get to the conference finals and they're like, well, we can't beat this team. We need to get over the hump.
Yeah.
So it's not that surprising considering not only was it the third straight time that they lost in that round, but it was the worst
It was the
competitively
worst one.
that they were in that entire
Yeah.
out of the 3 of them.
I think the second go at the Western Conference Final, they definitely got closer than the other 3, I felt. The third one, it felt like they had taken a leap back against Edmonton. Or Edmonton took a giant leap forward.
I think that's more of it. I think
Yeah.
Dallas was a lot more of the same team it had been and had that same approach, whereas Edmonton added what it needed to add, a lot like what Dallas has done this offseason.
Yeah.
And got, went from being that quick speed scoring, always scoring team and aggressive team to being able to play with the lead and being able to be more physical like the contenders are.
Yeah. And we've seen, in this offseason, Dallas brings in a new head coach in Glen Gulutzan, previously fired by Dallas at the beginning of the Jim Neal era, which was a unique situation to come step into, but he's talked so much about how thankful he is to get a second opportunity because you don't really get those often in pro
Right.
sports. And the
Yeah.
fact that you're inheriting a team that is a 3 straight Western Conference final appearances, you don't get that opportunity often. And from what I've seen since the beginning of the season, the reception to Gulutzan from fans, from players, from the organization all around seems overwhelmingly positive so far in the first few weeks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we talk about how he inherited a really, really bad situation the first time around,
Yeah.
and you didn't like other than, being in the room and hearing him speak and all that stuff. If you're just a regular fan of this team, the only way you would know how, like, great that reception is just tune into the game and see the cheers that he got when they announced him when they were announcing the entire roster and the coaching
Yeah.
staff, and when they finally got to him. I wasn't sure what we were gonna hear, to be honest, and that he got one of the loudest ovations out of anybody on that team.
Players included.
Yeah, exactly. Jamie Benn included. I mean, Jamie Benn might have been the only one that got a louder one, to be if we're being
Yeah.
honest. It was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, and even at the green carpet before they got into the arena for the home opener, Gulutzan comes down, he's signing autographs with fans
Mhm.
and he's engaging, and the fans were just excited to see him outside the small group that was there compared to the arena. I'm not saying there weren't many people
Yeah.
there. The reception to this guy, he is so loved here already. It
I
feels like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and I think he's more engaging with the fans. It's not that, like, Pete DeBoer had anything against the fans. He just didn't have that kind of personality to
Yeah.
where he would engage with the fans like Gulutzan has so far. And even
Pete DeBoer.
Gulutzan went out of his way during the media availability before the home opener to say that the fans are what he does this for and the part of, opening night that he looks forward to the most.
Yeah, and he became a coach in Texas.
Mhm.
He worked with the Texas Stars, bringing them. Did they win the Calder Cup or were runners up for the Calder Cup in their first season in Austin? He was a coach of the team at that point, so he really went trial by fire and did a lot of his coaching experience here in the state of Texas. And I think I don't think he's just saying it for PR reasons when
No.
he says how badly he wants to be here and
There
how much he enjoys coaching here.
In my experience, you can tell when a coach or a player or whatever is using PR answers or speaking from the heart.
Yeah.
and being like truly genuine and authentic. And
Yeah.
he doesn't come I'm not gonna say all of his answers, but most of his answers don't come across like PR.
Yeah, no, they did that. I don't know if you remember before the home opener, they showed like a video that they made of his like first few days in Dallas and him talking about
Mhm.
how excited he is to bring his family back here. His daughter
Yeah.
goes to college in Texas to play softball. Like it feels like a part of him never truly left
Yeah,
Texas.
he
And he's
even
so
made it
happy to be back.
he even made a joke about that daughter in one of the press conferences saying that she was kinda mad that he followed her. So,
Yeah,
it
that
was
is the most daughter of an NHL head coach
yeah,
thing I've ever heard.
yeah,
Couldn't have taken a job anywhere else. Had to be
so
where I live now.
but, I mean, we've mentioned on this podcast throughout the offseason and whatever that, the vibe feels different with Gulutzan as the head coach, and that's one of those things, I don't think Pete DeBoer had that kinda sense of humor. Like, he had a little bit of
No.
it, but he wouldn't was a li probably less willing to go there when talking to the media. Yeah,
Pete felt more like the I don't know if old guard of the NHL was the right group to put him in, but he felt more like someone who's been around the game for a long time than Glenn does. Glenn
sure.
feels young and fresh and more in tune. I'm not going to say Pete wasn't, but
Yeah,
Glenn feels like he's in tune with what's really going on outside of the facility a little more than Pete did.
sure, sure.
And he's more engaging to listen to, he's more engaging to talk to. I think the players love this guy. I
And
really do.
I think they think his playing styles and his coaching style is more fun too.
Oh, yeah, they're having fun.
Yeah.
They're having fun.
He
Uh,
I think a good way to put it is he lets them be them, whereas Pete, and
wanted them to play
I'm
Pete
talking
hockey.
about off the ice too. Like,
Yeah,
he lets them be who they wanna be, and Pete kind of, they had to play with structure, and they probably had I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but they probably had some stricter policy or rules in place or whatever,
yeah,
and, I mean, there were so many young guys on the team at that point that you probably had to, he probably felt like he had to,
yeah. No, I
so
bet
yeah,
a guy like Pete DeBoer was wonderful for a guy like Wyatt Johnston's development.
yeah,
To have
yeah.
a guy
There
like Pete at the beginning of his career is
there's
probably
no
great.
bashing him for anything he did
No.
other than the Jake Oettinger decision. That
Yes,
that is that is the worst move he made as a coach.
I I will say this on camera. Pete
But there's
DeBoer
there's
is an
nothing negative
amazing,
about him.
amazing
Yeah.
coach who made a terrible decision at a time that the Stars were already thinking about going in a different direction.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, if they
He needed
lost,
to
his job was gonna be under threat anyway.
yeah, yeah. What I think he pulled Oettinger in that game or not, they were already considering making a change, and he probably had to win that series for him to keep his job.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think he was coming back after 3 straight losses.
Mhm.
Even and Jim Nill, I thought when he was speaking after the firing, did it in the most respectful way possible. It's
Yeah.
nothing against Pete. It's
That
just we
that's
need something different.
That's another thing. Jim Neal is about as class active as he gets as an NHL GM.
And you will hear that
Yeah,
league-wide. That
yeah,
is not just a Dallas thing that we say. He
yeah.
has so much respect across the league. He was
Mhm.
with Detroit before Dallas and built up a
Yep,
great reputation there, and
yep.
comes over and has been here for almost 15 years and has
Yeah,
seen
I
great
can't believe
success.
that's been that long. Yeah. Seems like just yesterday
There's
they
no
hired him
signs of
away.
moving on
Yeah.
from him anytime soon.
Oh, no, and there shouldn't be. He's great
No.
at his job, and I mean, speaking as a media person, I mean, I haven't talked to him much, but he's great to be I mean, he always says hello, whether he's, whether you've talked to him much or not. It's like
Yeah.
he's a good person to be around, and he's very respectful, uh,
Yeah.
when he talks to the media and all that too, so
No, he had a very tough job of letting Pete DeBoer go when Pete DeBoer is also another really respected name across the league.
yeah.
A lot of
Yeah,
guys have good things to say about Pete, and he had to let him go after success. It's not like the team was bad. They were
yeah,
far from it.
yeah, and there are also another thing about Jim Neal is there are also general managers across the league who you will ask questions to, and you'll be kind of skeptical of the answers they give.
Yeah.
You don't have that after you talk to him
No.
most of the time. I can't
Yeah.
think of I mean, I haven't been doing this as long as most other people have, but
Yeah.
I can't think of a time where he said anything and I'm like, I'm not sure that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, he was good with his answers. It's just I think I'm just as excited for this new era of Dallas Stars as
Mhm.
much as the fans are. And man, have they turned out so far at the game so
Yeah,
far. I remember at the home opener, I texted my girlfriend since she stayed back. I was like, it is playoff loud in here. It
yeah.
felt like a playoff game on opening
That
night.
was probably the loudest regular season game I've seen in that building.
It changing of the guard with the team. This is a new Dallas Stars, and it felt like it. It's a reason to celebrate what we hope to be
Well
a lot of success.
well, yeah, and then the green carpet, the fans were out there really early. Like, I think it was you I was talking to when I said, when I was leaving morning skate that day, there were people parking for the green carpet
Yeah.
at, like, noon.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wanna shout out, one fan in particular who I would love to meet and maybe even potentially have on the show. The season ticket holder that shows up to every game in full goaltender gear. I can confirm he was out in PNC Plaza in 85 plus degree heat for several hours before the game. I love that dude. He has gone viral on Sportsnet and ESPN. People love him.
From what
Um,
I have from what I have heard, we have another podcast to thank for that because he wasn't originally gonna go in the full gear that night,
oh,
supposedly. Yeah.
he's a legend here.
So, yeah,
He is our
yeah,
super fan this year.
yes, I mean, yeah, you'll probably have to go out to what I've heard, it started as a dare, and
Yeah,
it's just evolved to what it is.
yeah. I
But
can
yeah, it's
confirm he
cool.
got his stuff signed by Oettinger. I was so happy
That's
that
cool.
Oettinger did
That's
not
cool.
miss him. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
they
got
need
pictures, he got his
I
blocker
was gonna
signed. It
say
was
they
awesome to
needed
see.
pictures together or whatever, and
Yes, they did get
I
that.
was joking with the guys on the other podcast that he was or on the podcast that he guested on, and I was like, "We need to get him a tryout somewhere."
Yes, I would love to see him get to, like, play could you imagine if the Stars were like, "Would you like to play, like, morning skate or something with us?"
Yeah, yeah. Do you
All
wanna
for
be
just
our
the clip.
emergency goalie, like a bullpen catcher?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna pray to God we don't actually have to put you in the net, but you let's have you hang around the team for a day would be awesome.
How do you feel about living in Idaho and playing for a team called the Steelheads?
Yeah, do you wanna go to the E and have fun there? We'll let you be a backup in the E. Oh, he would do it. But I just like that I think he is a perfect example of Stars fans. They adore this team. The small population of Dallas who does support hockey, 'cause it mainly does go to the Cowboys and the Mavericks and the Rangers, but the population that is supporting the Stars is hardcore fanatics.
Mhm,
This is a
mhm.
crazy fan base. Um, and
That's
he's
the
just
way
the
it
perfect
should be.
example.
I mean,
I really
when you
wanted to shout him out. I love that guy.
yeah, across sports, when you have a good team, your fan base gets wild
Yeah.
when it's good. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter who it is.
and we'd much rather have the kid in the goalie equipment than the bang guy behind the net.
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah,
he's not
yeah,
as popular as he once was.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
the crazy is good when you execute it properly.
Yeah,
Let's put it
it's not cool when you're just crazy.
Yeah,
Like
if you're crazy and it's a bit that's just, like, stupid or, like, I'm not even gonna say offensive, but, like, people just don't like,
yeah.
then it doesn't work.
If your bit is just being loud and obnoxious, you are a
Oh,
terrible
yeah,
super fan.
yeah, yeah.
100%. That's why the bang guy, no one liked him. League wide. Paul Bissonnette was talking on the TNT broadcast about how much he can't
Yeah,
stand the guy.
it's just somebody who wants attention.
Yeah.
It's not
No, this kid loves the Stars. 100%. No,
Mhm.
that he might be one of our biggest supporters at the moment. But I did want to talk about some on ice stuff today. I said in last week's episode that the Stars have not run into much injury trouble. And I've regretted that deeply since we have seen 2 injuries on
Yeah,
the team since
everybody
I've
blames
said that.
Trevor.
Yes, blame
Everybody
Trevor.
blame
You can go
Trevor.
back in the last episode, James. I said, man, the Stars have gotten kind of lucky. Let's hope this keeps going. And then a few hours later, Matt Duchene goes down.
Yeah.
And
Well, I
since then,
mean,
we've seen Nils Lundkvist go down.
yeah, and I mean, league-wide injuries have been a problem. You got a lot of guys that have gone out, a lot of
Oh, yeah. Brady
it's
Tkachuk goes down for
yeah,
several weeks. There's a lot of
there's
injuries league wide.
multiple, yeah.
The bug is hitting the Stars to start the year. Luckily, nothing too major other than Jamie Benn. Matt Duchene, Gulutzan was asked this morning about what's his status update. It sounds like it's day to day at the moment. He
Yeah,
is
he is
practicing.
not playing tonight.
Not playing tonight. Thank
Not
you.
playing Tuesday night.
But he could very much get in by the end of the week. It's what it sounds like.
It's I kinda like that, yep.
Nils Lundkvist dropped on IR, so that is a minimum 7 days that he needs to spend away from playing. He is allowed to practice, but I don't think he is ready quite yet.
Mhm.
So we'll see what goes on with that, but it's proving an interesting opportunity for even more guys to step up into this lineup and get a taste of Glen Gulutzan hockey. Glen Gulutzan is now down 3 players that he was told a few weeks ago will be ready for opening night, and it's gone downhill very quickly. And crucial players,
Actually, it's
collectively.
down 4 now. Oscar Beck's still out.
Oh yeah, Oscar
Yeah.
back as well. Thank you. Yeah, who is what was his
He's
status update? Is he close?
he's close. Yeah, they
Okay.
said, uh, I believe he said hopefully in a week.
Okay. I think so.
Yeah,
Of the 4 players hurt right now, it
he's
sounds
probably
like
closest. Actually, Duchene might be closer, but
I think Duchene's could have played tonight if it was tomorrow. Like push back a day.
okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I think he's a day or two short. I really think he
yeah.
is. Um, Jamie's going to be out the longest, of course, because that's a
Well,
scary
we
injury.
don't
He
know
does
the
not need to be
extent of
back at the
Nils'
peak.
injury, but yeah, probably.
Yeah, it sounds like Nils is probably going to be a little bit longer term as well, which really sucks for Nils because
Yeah.
he is so
He's
close to
had
being an
this one. I
NHL
mean,
regular.
it happened last year. He got hurt when he was playing the best that we've seen out of him, and this is probably his make or break year. It sucks to hear.
Yeah.
Sucks to see that. I mean,
Former first round pick of the New York Rangers has just had unlucky break after unlucky break since coming to the Stars. And when he's healthy, I'm glad that you pointed out when he is healthy,
so
Nils
good.
Lundkvist is great.
Yeah.
I thought he had a
Yeah,
great start to
he's
the
come
year.
a long way since he first got here.
Yes. And it's just hopefully this injury isn't as long term as last year's because I'm pretty sure he was out the majority of last season.
The majority of the second half.
Yeah.
Majority of the
So
second half,
hopefully he
yes.
can get his season back on track rather quickly.
Yeah.
Because I think he's such a valuable asset if he can just stay healthy.
Yes, yeah, and I mean,
Um,
just seeing him around the locker room, he seemed a lot more, uh, I don't even know what the right word would be. He's not I mean, it's not like he wasn't engaged, but he was just seeming a lot happier like the other guys, I guess,
he
would be
seems
the
more
right way to
comfortable
put it. Yes,
because
yeah, that's the
when I
that's
started covering the Stars, it was his first season there. I want to say first
uh-huh.
or second, and he felt kind of out of place at times. He felt like the odd man out, and now he feels like
Nobody in
the
there feels
energy
like an
around
odd man
him.
out right now, honestly.
No one's an
There's
odd man out right now in the
nobody
Stars.
feels like an odd man out in there.
But it feels like he's more of a part of this team than he's ever been before, and an
Yes,
important part of this
yes,
team.
yes,
So to
and
see him kind of get pulled out is a damn shame, to put it
yeah,
simply.
yeah,
Um,
and they did say apparently that they're waiting to call somebody up. That
yeah,
move, to my knowledge, hasn't happened. Let me just double check here.
yeah. I don't believe it sounds like I think it'll probably happen tomorrow because I think they have guys for
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah. Well,
Um,
no, they have 6 healthy defensemen. They just don't have the extra
yeah.
guy.
So Labushkin has kind of slotted in because he was not playing opening night, so he is slotted in.
Yeah, I
I
didn't pay
like
enough
Ilya
attention to
Labushkin.
I didn't pay enough
Uh,
attention at skate about the defense pairings, unfortunately,
yeah.
today. But
But there'll be and then Adam Ernie getting some potential ice time as well, with Duchene still being out. But Gulutzan did say, like you said, expect a call up in the next little bit for another defenseman. Who are we thinking, Travis? There's some front runners you
Yeah,
mentioned.
there's some options. Obviously Trey Taylor was one that made the team initially for cap
Mhm.
reasons, and then got sent down. That would be a pretty cool story. Christian Kyrou is probably their top defense prospect. Then you look at Vladislav Kolyachonok, or however you say his name. I'm
Yeah,
not fluent in
not gonna butcher.
that stuff.
Yeah,
He's the guy that they got in a trade in the I believe it was the Matt Dumba trade, correct? Think that's
yeah,
what
that
it
sounds
was.
right. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And then veteran AHL defenseman has been up and down, Kyle Capobianco. Um, you know, if it's those are probably the 4 options.
yeah.
To me, I mean, Nils Lundkvist is what, your only right-handed defenseman right
It
now?
feels like, yeah.
So if you're going just based on that, Kyrou is the only right-handed defenseman out of those 4
Yeah.
options.
Do you
So
think a call up does play, or are they just sitting in the box until he's back?
that's another thing that you're thinking through. It's a really good question. I don't totally have an answer for it. So,
I feel like,
that's something that's gonna determine, I think, who it is, who gets
and
the call up.
it could be based off what happens tonight. If someone has a
Yeah,
bad game, it could influence who gets called
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Um, I think a lot does ride on Lyubushkin. He does have
Mhm.
an opportunity to show, "Yep, I can play these minutes still," and be trusted because he does have a lot of NHL experience. He was good enough. I'm not gonna say decent, good enough for them last year.
You're acting
Um,
like he's really old, like, he's not really old.
well, like, the
He
thing with a player like Ilya Lyubushkin is they so quickly leave the NHL. It's not necessarily, "I'm still
Yeah,
young enough to play," it's, "Am I good enough to be trusted to play?"
yeah.
And I
So,
think he has a good opportunity to prove he still can.
he's very much a defensive defenseman, which you don't see much in that star system, you don't see much of that these days in the NHL.
Yeah.
Um, at least I feel like that. On the right-handed and left-handed thing, just the last note, Petrovic and Lyubushkin are both right-handed. So,
Okay.
it's not as big a deal as it has been in the past.
Thank
So,
God. Right-handed defenseman, the
that
hardest commodity to get in the NHL.
that makes me think if they call up a defenseman, it's gonna be Trey Taylor based off
Okay.
of that.
So
But
we'll keep an eye
I would
on
say
the call-up.
Taylor, yeah, I would say Taylor or Kyrou, and if they want someone with experience, that would be when they would call up Capobianco, because he's got
Yeah,
the most experience out of those guys.
yeah. And then
He's a fringe NHL, AHL guy who's been in the AHL pretty much the
yeah,
entire time. Yeah.
and I don't know, I feel like Gulutzan's system, it's easy to step into if you're
I
kind of a
think it's
fringe
very
guy. Go out
player
there and hit
friendly
things.
especially if you're an experienced guy.
Yeah. Man, are you willing just to go to the corner and throw your body around? You can play Glen Gulutzan hockey. He'll find a job for you.
Well,
Um,
shoot, I might be in the NHL soon then.
yeah, let me strap him up, Glenn. I can fight in a corner. I won't skate very fast to
Oh,
get there, but once I'm there,
yeah,
I'll hold my
yeah.
own.
I'm a big guy, I can handle it.
Yeah, you're a big guy until Liam Bichelle decides
Yeah,
to come
it's
to the
true,
corner with you.
that's true. Yeah. Well
That's not, so
in
opening
this
night.
hypothetical situation, he's my teammate.
Thank
So
God, thank God. So opening night was my first time seeing Liam Bichelle in person.
Oh,
I knew that he was large. I knew
him
that
and
he
Alex
was.
Petrovic are huge.
Yes, and one that surprised me today, Mikko Rantanen is a mountain of a man.
Oh, yeah.
I did not
Yeah.
realize he was as big as he
He's
is.
6'3", I think, like, almost 220, something like that. He's
Big dude. This is a
very big dude. Yeah.
big Stars team. Even like Robertson, who feels like in my head,
He's tall.
Robertson should be a
Robertson's really
small guy.
tall. Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah.
Everybody's big. It
I wouldn't
fits
say
in a
everybody,
Gulutzan
but
mold.
yeah, there are some guys that are in there that are taller than you think they would be.
Yeah. Robertson
So,
is just what, he's like 6'2". He's up
yeah.
there.
Yeah. You don't see many hockey players that
No.
tall. I mean, you see it more these days, but you didn't used to.
Yeah. I think what
And
also messes me up with Robertson is his brother is only like 5'9".
really? Okay.
Yeah, so his brother was a preemie, and is like a fringe NHL guy with the Leafs. So in my head, I've seen a lot of Nick Robertson in the past, so I assume, oh, they'd be similar. No, not at all. Jason has like 4 inches on him.
Yeah.
This is crazy. But before we kind of wrap today's episode up, Travis had a special shout out to one of NHL's greatest players.
Put me on the spot here. No.
Yes, I am. There's a player that's starting his how many seasons now of professional hockey?
If you've followed hockey, you know a certain former Dallas star is still playing at the age of 53 in Europe. ESPN's article says
53.
that it is 38th pro hockey season, which is insane. So shout out Jaromir Jagr, still playing. I mean, he made impact on the NHL throughout his career. I mean, he was one of the NHL greats, and he's still going. So
he is. What did we say earlier? He's more than 15 years older than Jamie Benn.
Yeah, he was teammates with Jamie Benn at one point.
Yeah. Well, let me stop you right there. It feels like everyone who's been in the NHL for more than a decade at some point was teammates with Jaromir Jagr.
I mean, yeah.
Almost everybody.
Have you ever played Immaculate Grid or Puck Doku?
Jagr is your go-to when you don't know.
Answer. Yeah.
But yeah, 53 years old. Jaromir Jagr is still kicking. He, to my knowledge, is still playing for HC Kladno in the Czech League. That is the team he owns. That is probably a portion of why he is still playing. But that is his hometown team that he purchased after leaving.
Jackie Moon.
He can do whatever he wants. Realistically, I'm curious. I want to ask this for the show. How many more years do you think he's got in the tank? If you had to guess.
He's going to die on the ice.
I don't think he retires.
That's my point.
He just keeps going.
Happen to him on the ice. He's just going to go until it's like, well, you might not get this reference because when we were talking earlier, you said you don't think you've seen the Mighty Ducks movies. There's an old guy who is Gordon Bombay's like former trainer or coach or pro shop guy or whatever.
Yeah.
And during the game, he's probably like 70, 80 years old during these movies or whatever. And there's a couple times where he's on the ice skating. That's what I think Jagr's going to be. There was out there at 80 years old strapping on the skates.
There was a video of I think it was at the Olympics or some competition in Russia where they let Vladimir Putin skate in some like celebrity game. And when he got the puck, everyone moved out of the way to let him score. We're a few years away from them doing that with Jagr. Where it's like, you're not going to hit him. You don't want to be the dude who ends Jagr's career, and you're one hit away from doing it.
Yeah.
And then you have to live with, for the rest of your hockey playing days, and probably long after that, you're the dude who ended Jaromir Jagr's career, not Father Time. Father Time will not catch up to Jagr. I don't think. Jagr is above time. He was here before it started.
I was going to say
he'll be here after.
He is Father Time's father.
Yes. Okay, for reference, I am 23 years old. My mom told me stories of when she used to go to Penguins games in high school and watch Jaromir Jagr play. And he was several years into the league at that point.
Jagr is already past Gordie Howe for age still playing.
That's cool.
So that's
Asterisk Howe was
Gordie Howe retired. Gordie Howe retired at 52.
So he's beat. Maybe that's what he wanted.
Playing at 53.
Maybe he just wanted to get to 53 and then he's done. But I don't realistically think he's going to do that either. I think he's going to keep going.
I mean, if Jagr stops playing hockey, the world is going to end. That's just where we're at.
To my knowledge, I'm pretty sure he's a bachelor as well. He's single. He loves playing. He's never going to stop.
In the world. Yeah.
Yeah, he just plays hockey. That's what he does, and it's what he's going to do until the day he dies. And it's not like he owns the team. It's not like they're going to go, okay, it's time to go. This dude's ready to take your spot. And even if he didn't, you're not going to take Jagr lineup.
Mm-mm.
Don't be the one.
He could be playing on the fourth line at 90 years old.
Why not? Why not? And on that note, I think that wraps us up for today's episode. I really wanted to shout out Yager. We love Yager on the show. But I want to thank everybody for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, follow on whatever platform you're listening to. We really appreciate it. And we will see y'all for the next episode.